Primus, a classic band from the 90s that just gives you that warm and fuzzy feeling of the 90s era, the grungy stuff, the gross 90s era. Ugh. This is the Brown album, which is kind of weird they call it the Brown album because, you know, this is brown. I love the color brown, by the way. It's annoying that people diss the color brown. The color brown looks rich, so I don't know why people diss it all the time. I find it amusing it's called the Brown album because the rest of this CD case is gold, so very unique looking album. The gold makes you think it's the best album ever, but this is a really good album. It's very different sounding, I'll say. It takes a while to get used to, but once you get used to the style of Primus, it's like, whoa, these guys are really good. Golden Boy, Shake Hands with Beef, Camelback Cinema, Fisticuffs, Bob's Party Time Lounge. Yeah, good stuff. It's funny. It's got some funny lyrics on here. All that shit. DMX's first album. It's dark and hell is hot. In my opinion, this is when DMX sold his soul to the devil for fame and fortune. May he rest in peace. I was a fan of his music. I mean, like, he's like in hell on this cover, and you can see like little spikes here on the X's, like, you know, and this right here is like, you know, the devil's tail and all that. This is a really great album. One of his other albums, and there was X. You know, this cover does make me think of Malcolm X for some reason, who I actually like better than Dr. King, by the way, for anyone who's interested in that kind of old political stuff. This is a good album. It's got some really creative stuff on here, and if you ever listen to the lyrics on this album, he blatantly talks about how he sells his soul to the devil on some of the lyrics to these songs. He has a lot of songs, so I can't remember which ones he says it in, but for all the DMX fans out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Strictly for my, I really like Tupac's music, and he's a very fast rapper, I'll say. Very prolific. I really like his messages. Of course, this changed from time to time. It's my favorite album by him, and I fucking love this cover. This cover is so cool looking. It's very trippy. You got his name on the side. This album, and like I love what they did with this picture here on the back here. You can even argue at this time, like, this is when Pac is starting to be fractured as a person in terms of his beliefs. How If You Hear Me is great. Point the Finger, Last Words, Guess Who's Back, Keep Your Head Up. Like this album has a lot of amazing beats on it, and a lot of really awesome, entertaining instrumental stuff that are in between his raps. And when they use his voice on this album, it sounds different than his other albums. It sounds different. Like, they'll make his voice deep, or they'll change it up. It's my favorite Tupac album, and I think it's an underrated rap album. A lot of people talk about his other albums more, actually. I'm really not sure why, because to me, like, beat-wise, it's definitely the best. Tupac, Me Against the World. I love the cover for this album, and the biggest reason why I got into this album was because I loved the song Me Against the World. Aside from it just being a great song with a great beat and great lyrics, aside from that, the message spoke to me so strongly when I was in my early 20s. And spiritually, I always will be. The cover, the title, who hasn't felt like the world is against them, the whole world? And here he is looking at you, leaning against this wall here. Like, that's how he felt at the time. Like, all these people were against him or wanted to kill him. And if I, like, again, you know, I like I stated, I really do like Tupac's. But if I do have a criticism about Pac, honestly, he does repeat the same themes way too much on his songs. Like, it does honestly seem like literally every song by Tupac is exactly the same as the last song, way more than other rappers. He's really not diverse, which is why I think Pac was probably an FBI agent. Now, that this does not mean that he didn't have his own positive personal beliefs. However, it does mean that he is a man of question, and he did entertain us, and he did give us positive messages here and there, but he might be like a secret wolf in sheep's clothing. But you know, that doesn't mean we can't take away like the things that you seemed honest about. This is a whole other video really talking about Tupac being a phony or whatever. I'm just basically saying he wasn't 100% a phony, but just there are things that really stick out to me and stick in my craw. But I don't think this is his best album, despite what other people say. I do think Strictly for My You Know What is a better album. But this is a really good album. It's got powerful lyrics on it that really speak to everybody of every nationality. A Tribe Called Quest is one of my favorite rap groups, and this is their first album. I also saw a cover of this album where they made it like all silver. That was really cool. It's like a collector's edition cover. I think the Tribe's first album is their best album. This album is a masterpiece. Again, you know, a lot of the best album covers make the best album, because when the band finds out what the cover is, it's like they want to make sure it's a really great album. The pressure is on. We need a lot of people nowadays to have pressure to make great music. We don't want to be abusive, of course, but a little bit of fire helps to inspire powerful lyrics and music artists. Luck of Lucin, After Hours, Footprints. I left my wallet in El Segundo. I gotta get it, I got to get it. Bonita Applebum, that's a really good song. Can I Kick It? Yes, you can. Youthful Expression. Ham and Eggs, pretty good. Description of a Fool, great song. It's an educational song. It talks to other brothers on the street and talks about how, like, why are you doing this and doing that, and how you should be more of a philosopher instead, and try to do something else in your life, and you don't have to do this and do that. The song, the album is great. A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Martyrs. Weird looking cover. This is when they started introducing the red and green thing, the characters or whatever. This is a good album. I don't think it's as good as their first. Like I said, their first album is a masterpiece, but it's a good album for sure. Actually, I think this is just a decent album, but they did try to be creative and different with the album cover. And it does kind of remind me a little bit of A Hard Day's Night, but, you know, it's different. It's their own thing, you know. The Low End Theory. I'm not sure what the Low End Theory means, but this is a great album. A lot of people think this album is a masterpiece and that this is their best album, but I think their first album is the best album. This is their second best album, in my opinion, and it's a great album. It's all over the place. The lyrics are phenomenal. The beats they use are phenomenal. They were just all over the world with this. This is like their second crowning achievement. Like, this album is so dense with just fitting all the beats really properly with all the rhymes. This is one of their last albums. This is when all the band members were fighting. Kind of weird to say that, because here it looks like the apocalypse on the cover. Once again, here's the characters with the red and green. Despite how like cool looking the cover looks and the back cover, this is when the Tribe was not as good. I mean, this is a decent album. You got some good stuff on here, but you also have a lot of honestly quite mediocre stuff here. I don't know, there's not much else to say about this album, but I'm really proud they kept going, because they are one of the greatest rap groups out there. Okay, so the three greatest rap groups of all time, right? NWA, A Tribe Called Quest, and Public Enemy. Public Enemy is probably the best rap group ever, right? But who's in second place, the Tribe or NWA? Born Again. This is Biggie's first album released after his passing. Unfortunately, because of some evidence I've seen on the internet, I do think Biggie's death was an inside job. Biggie may have been an agent himself, but no doubt he is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and some people say the greatest. I used to think he was the greatest of all time, and now, I still think he is. Biggie is the man. He was amazing. I like this cover, his hand sticking out at you. Born Again is a great title. This is a great album. You got great songs on here. The beats they use are really good. Really, really good. I don't get why there's so many unreleased Biggie songs. When they were releasing these albums after his untimely death, there was all these people saying, who put out these albums, all these people were saying, well, this is the last of Biggie's material. This is pretty much it. And it's like, no, guys, you lied. There's way more that you have unreleased of Biggie's material. Like, I don't know if you can find it on YouTube anymore, but Biggie actually had a rap song about Pepsi. That's right, the drink, the soda, Pepsi. He talks about opening up the mini fridge and drinking a Pepsi. Where is that? I don't hear that on any of these albums. I guess they don't want to pay Pepsi, but... Here we got Snoop Dogg. I think this is his second album of The Dogfather. Unless you're an idiot, you can tell that this is a parody of The Godfather. And this is when he was still called Snoop Doggy Dogg, which I still call him that. I actually prefer this title better than just Snoop Dogg. Just like I like the title Hip Hop instead of Rap better. This is a great album. I think it's one of Snoop's best. It's not as good as his first album, but it's great though. My favorite song on here is Blueberry. Gold Rush is my favorite, and then Snoop Bounce, The Dogfather. It's great. I think that this should be the cover, because the cover for the first album had this kind of artwork. This should be the cover, not this. I get that this is the cover it looks like it's The Godfather, but even still. Above the Rim, good movie. Tupac movie. This is one of the greatest movie soundtracks ever. It is so fucking catchy. There's so many great songs on here. This is a really extremely funky album. You Bring the Dog Out in Me by Rhythm and Knowledge is amazing. It's the best song on here. Pour Out a Little Liquor by Thug Life, Pac's rap group. Short-lived rap group, by the way. But this is a really good album. It's got really great stuff on here. Afro Pups by The Lady of Rage. Good stuff. This is Vanilla Ice's second album, Mind Blowin'. I think it's underrated as fuck. I love this album. I think it's better than his first album. Also, I love the cover because the first album had to do with ice, and the second album, fire. Like, he was going through some changes, yes, no. His rise to fame was a little too quick. Great, underrated Vanilla Ice songs on here. I think Vanilla Ice is a great rapper. Hit 'em Hard Ice is great. Iceman Party is great. Fame is great. Talking about his fame, once again, I already mentioned that. Mind Blowin', great song. I highly recommend this album as well. If you're a hip-hop fan or a rap fan, and if you don't like Vanilla Ice's corny first album, you might like his second album, because it's definitely more gangster. Okay, Criss Cross, the first original Criss Cross album. These guys were really creative with whoever came up with this idea to wear their clothes backwards. So listening to this album, I was wondering if it was going to be overrated. But actually, honestly, this is an underrated rap album. This is a great fucking album. Listening to it, it makes me understand why people loved Criss Cross back in the day when they first came out. These boys had talent. They really did. They were made to rap. They were born to rap, rather. Now check out how cool this is. You have to flip the album upside down for the lyrics. Now, their best songs, of course, are Warm It Up, Chris, and the song Jump. But it doesn't matter, because there's other really good songs on here. The production is tight, and it has some extremely catchy beats that don't even belong here. They belong on an Ice Cube album or something like that. But what can I say? The people working with these boys obviously wanted to try to make them as big as they could, and they knew to add funky beats to pump up their game, and it really works. This is a great album, no doubt. I have not listened to the other Criss Cross albums. All right, the best of Shaq, when Shaq was a rapper back in the 90s. I don't give a fuck what any rap fan says. Shaq can rap. I think Shaq was a great rapper, and I love this album cover. Shaq is an underrated rapper. He had a lot of great rap songs like I'm Outstanding, and yes, he is outstanding at rapping. Shoot Past Slam, Biological, Didn't Bother, Mic Check 1 2, I Know I Got Skills. Holy fuck, like I'm Outstanding is an amazing song. If you want to listen to a great Shaq rap song, if you think he can't rap, listen to the song I'm Outstanding. And he is. Other rappers of the day also thought he was great. Like he mentions basketball in these raps, which is really, really cool. I also love this album cover because it looks all scratchy. It's trying to look old school, even though it already is. Just total, like, I love the 90s font here. The 90s font. I'll always miss the 90s until I'm dead. Fuck! The nostalgia. I know I got skills. I know I got skills. And I liked Shaq's movies in the 90s, too. I do think he's an underrated rapper, and it's too bad that he is not appreciated by other rap fans as a great entertainer, as a rapper. Also, around the time that he became an actor and a rapper, he also had the video game Shaq Fu for the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. He had a couple of rap albums, but the funniest lyric to me is when he says he punches the Statue of Liberty in the stomach. I think that's hilarious, and I can't remember what song that is, but I really wish that Shaq was involved more with Space Jam. Actually, a little piece of trivia, you can actually see Shaq at the very end of the original Space Jam. He plays on the Wizards, I think. Or I think he plays on Orlando Magic with the blue jersey, and he plays against Jordan in the final game of the film when Jordan returns to basketball after saving the Looney Tunes from an alien race. Anyway, and Shaq also appears in a new commercial, an ESPN commercial with the Looney Tunes for Space Jam 2. So it's interesting how there's a song on here called What's Up, Doc? And like a lot of his rap songs feature his friends rapping on them. And his other rap friends, some of them are extremely talented. And I'm like, holy shit! None of these other guys have any careers, though. It's weird. Like, how come none of his friends can have albums? But anyway, the song What's Up, Doc? Can We Rock? How could you not think of Bugs Bunny? And one of the rappers mentions, I saw a putty tat. I did. And it's like, yeah, you think of Shaq, and Shaq is funny, and he's a rapper, and he should have been more involved with Space Jam and been in commercials with the Looney Tunes, and especially with that song, What's Up, Doc? Like, really? Yeah, Shaq is a perfect fit for the Looney Tunes. In fact, he probably would have made a better... He could have been the starring role of Space Jam, honestly. Quick. Quick is one of the best rappers of all time. This album from the 90s called Rhythmalism is a very funky album. It's a great album. It's underrated as fuck. A lot of really catchy bangers on here. Listening to this album and hearing every song being extremely catchy, I'm like, what the hell happened? No one talks about this album. What the fuck? Alright, so everyone knows this song. Let me clear my throat. Have mercy, babe. Yeah, so this is like a single, which is weird, and it's got Let Me Clear My Throat. Oh, it's not a single, actually. It's got all this other stuff on it. I honestly, I have to hear this again because I don't remember any of the other songs at all. Except for I Got That Feeling. I remember that one, but I have to hear this album again. It's probably really good. This is the first Spice Girls album. I really like the Spice Girls, actually. I know they're really corny, and I wasn't into them when I was younger. Obviously, things were different back then. Wannabe is overrated, but To Become One is okay. Love Thing is great. The Spice Girls were really funky. Last Time Lover is great. Say You'll Be There is pretty good. Who Do You Think You Are is decent. Something Kind of Funny is great. Naked is amazing. Listen to Naked by the Spice Girls. And the song doesn't mean what you might think it is. It's not a sexy song. It's a song about being vulnerable. If You Can't Dance is amazing. It ends the album on an amazing song. I love the cover. It kind of reminds me of the Powerpuff Girls with the different colors of the girls. My favorite girls are Sporty Spice and Posh Spice. Posh Spice is the hottest, and Sporty is like the cutest. And then I loved Scary Spice. I love that afro she's got. She was very cute back in the day, and she still is. But the other two girls, Baby Spice and whatever the other Spice was called. The other two girls, no, I don't really like them that much. Sorry, girls. Anyway, the first Spice Girls album is the best album they made, by the way. This is an album called Carousel by Marcia Griffiths. This is the album that gave us the Electric Slide from the 1990s. Anyone who grew up in the 90s, they would constantly play this song at every dance party you went to. I don't care if it was a Sweet 16, I don't care if it was a wedding, I don't give a fuck what party it was. They played this song at every party in the 90s. Sugar Shack. Yeah, so people call the song the Electric Slide, but the actual name of the song is Electric Boogie. She never says Electric Boogie in the song, she says the Electric Slide, and that's what that song is. Carousel, Sugar Shack, and the Electric Slide, or aka Electric Boogie, are the best songs on this album. The other one, I can do without. One Hit Wonder, no one even knows her name. It's a decent album, and she made one of the best dance songs of all time. I love the Electric Slide. I don't care how corny it is. Was it overplayed? Yes. Was it great? Yeah, it was. It was great. It's way better than the fucking dance songs they play these days. The first Now album. Look at this, guys. Now. That's what I call music. Now. The first Now album. The cover here, the center here, is supposed to be like a speaker. This is the most nostalgic Now album because the songs on this album are like a time capsule back to 1998, 1997, 1998. And you got Hanson on here, Lenny Kravitz, Janet, Spice Girls, Backstreet. It's a classic album. There's a lot of bangers on here. It's an extreme throwback. Anyone who grew up in the 90s knows, in the 2000s, remembers all the fucking Now commercials. Like every time they came out with a Now album, it would be like Now 35, and every year they'd have a new commercial and all that stuff. They were funny, they were annoying, those commercials, but they still got listening to every Now album now. Listen to every Now album now. They are time capsules to the early 2000s, all of the Now albums. So if you want to experience what it was like to grow up in the early 2000s, jams in the late 90s, from the 90s generation, just listen to the Now albums in order, and you will relive that era, or hear it for the first time, because these were the music of the era. And it's an extremely nostalgic throwback. It's like it's become an unintentional nostalgia throwback, which is really interesting, actually. Even the disc says Now on it. Kind of funny how it's not Now anymore. You might as well call these albums past now. So this is Now 2. That's what I call music. And when these first were coming out, you really didn't think they were going to make like a billion of them. But they did. And what's amazing about this album, hey guys, this includes the Rugrats theme song they made for the first Rugrats movie on here. U-U-G-G-S-S-S. How cool is that? How fucking nostalgic is that? Britney Spears, Jay-Z, R. Kelly again, Garbage, Fatboy Slim, Sheryl Crow. Yeah, so fucking classic. This was 1999, and yeah, good stuff. Would have been cool if it included one of the songs from Pokemon the first movie. How awesome would that have been? Or maybe one of the songs from South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. That would be really nostalgic. Maybe I'll make my own CD for something like that. We come to our final CD, and what a great way to end it, with something I just mentioned. This is the Rugrats movie soundtrack. So everyone knows that Space Jam is my favorite movie, but the Rugrats movie is a contender for a close second. The Rugrats movie is phenomenal. In a lot of ways, it's actually the proper conclusion to the Rugrats, to the ending the greatness of the Rugrats, because everyone knows the episodes with Dill after the movie were pretty crappy. Not like the older episodes, the classic ones. I love this movie. I can't praise it enough. I love that it was darker than the show, and had a great plot, and it was very emotional and everything. But anyway, the soundtrack is amazing. This is one of the best nostalgic childhood soundtracks you will ever listen to. And by the way, if you probably can't notice, but I actually printed this off the computer because I didn't have the manual anymore. But yep, it's got the same song featured on Now 2, the Rugrats theme, and a lot of the songs on here do appear in the movie. Wild Ride, great song. Witch Doctor, Take Me There, that's the song. Love the movie, love the soundtrack. Yo ho ho and a bottle of yum. I love this movie, and I'm really happy I ended it. What a way to end this collection, right? Please like and subscribe. This is only one portion of my massive CD collection. Let me know which album here was your favorite. And please tell me what your favorite decade of music is. Well, actually, that's way too difficult of a question, but I love funk music, and hopefully you guys understand what kind of music I like now from listening to all these. Old school will live on forever, baby. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and peace.